Hey everyone, this is Andrew from the Console Gaming Crew, and we couldn't be happier to announce that we are now a part of the Boss Rush Podcast Network and are featured on BossRushGames.com. BossRushGames.com is a great place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there's a growing collection of podcasts in not just the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be a part of such a great network of podcasters, so please stop by and give everyone a listen. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Yo, crew members, what it be?
Heyo! And nothing else.
And nothing else.
And the reason there's nothing else is because we had a last minute cancellation here. Anthony got called into work. So
do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. So I'm happy to be back because I had a week off.
Oh, yeah.
For my birthday.
You had a birthday?
I had a birthday. I turned the big double trees.
Old bitch.
I know, right? How old are you?
35.
Oh, yeah. So it's cool. I told Alex, I was like, I don't freak out getting older anymore. The second that I see, because all my friends are older, so the second I see you guys not doing the things that I still love to do, I won't panic. So it's like, cool, when I'm 35, I can still do this. The second you hit 38 and you have no desire to play video games anymore, then I'm going to worry.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I hope not.
I don't think it will.
I hope not. I really hope not. But anyway.
So, my bad.
I was going to throw it to you. I was going to say, you want to tell the people what we're doing today?
Yeah, so, we're about a week late on it, but, we can still go ahead and, give everybody how we feel of it. Feel of it. How we feel of it? I don't know yet. We're talking about GamesCom 2021.
Yeah, there's some heat.
Now, there was
some heat drop.
There was a lot. There was a lot of stuff that actually dropped. We're kind of giving you the stuff that we
are probably most interested in.
Yeah.
So, stop, don't shoot. If there's something that we left out, let us know. But yeah, we're gonna go over some of the things that we saw, give you, our first reaction to it. And there's no particular order to how we have these written down. We just kind of wrote these down, and so it's not like don't be waiting for some big finale at the end because we're just going through, and we're starting with UFL.
Yeah, so it looks like this UFL game projected releases some point in 2022, and from what we're able to gather, it is going to be a direct competitor of FIFA.
Yeah, and I believe they said that they had over 500 licensed footballers.
Or five.
I thought he said 500.
I think it was 5,000.
What the fuck, really?
I think it was 5,000.
Brother,
yeah, licensed footballers.
No, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, so another thing about the game that was really cool is that it's going to run off of the Unreal Engine. So that's definitely going to be neat.
It sure is. And yeah, free to play.
Yes.
That is the
biggest thing about it. Yeah, it's a free to play FIFA game, essentially.
Think about it. If you're going to try to take down a franchise as storied as FIFA, probably charging people right out the gate when they don't know what you're all about probably ain't the way to go.
Nah.
So you open a whole fan base to your shit for free. And then if it works, maybe you take a little bit of a hit now, but then you keep these things going, and all of a sudden,
yeah, but it'll pay dividends in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like I said, that one it looked like it was like
a 30-second teaser trailer. I don't even think you actually got to see anyone kick a ball. You got to see them run towards the ball.
Yeah, you saw them run towards it. But that one projected, everybody thinks is going to be some point in 2022.
Correct.
So the next one we're going to talk about is a remake of a game that you said you played, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're talking about Saints Row.
Saints Row games, man. If you ever loved GTA, Saints Row would also be right up your alley. It's the same style of wild shit. In this one specifically, apparently you're not, they're creating their own brand new reboot. So you're not, there will be Easter eggs, but you're not going to see any Johnny Gat or some of the original characters. And this was also no gameplay. It was just a cinematic trailer. It was a cool cinematic trailer where they were basically showing the new characters whom we don't have names for yet.
No, the guy with the helmet was Kevin. That's about the only one I got.
The one with the dead mouse helmet?
Yeah.
And they were, scoping out a weapons deal
that went awry because they killed the dealer.
That went very
awry. The bad guys
awry.
killed the dealer, and then they decided to take the rocket launchers.
They decided to steal the shit themselves, and it was funny. It was wild as hell. The car chase at the end. It's funny. There was this part where Kevin on the motorcycle was following his people in the car. they fucking shit whipped the car, hit his motorcycle, so he flipped in the air, and then the chick like grabbed his hand and pulled him into the car, so the motorcycle and as I'm like, wow, that was sick, Wes just goes, that wouldn't happen. And I was like, what do you think? How much of this shit do you think would happen?
Yeah, but I'm thinking like real life physics though.
Yeah,
I can't help it.
Of course,
I can't help it.
Wes is bringing real life physics into Saints Row, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. If you've been a fan of the other ones, it seems like it's going to be just as outlandish. And like I said, if you haven't played them, give it a shot because they're pretty damn fun. But again, not a lot to go off of there, but more cinematics. And then that's moving us right. Oh, did you have a date for that?
That's what I was about to try to find.
Okay.
Saints Row. No, it looks like the game is going to be due in spring 2022.
Perfect. And that moves us right into something I'm very excited about. We actually talked about this before.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a bunch of giggles. I enjoy it. It is Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Now, these Lego games, while they are...
Sorry. No, let me go ahead. All right, so I read that wrong. The release date for the Saints Row reboot is February 25th, 2022.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so back into Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. These games are generally made for kids. You can tell they're made for kids. It's, it's Legos. And what bothered me about a couple of the Lego games that I'd seen before was it does bother me that they're, in a way, that there was no talking. Like, they just made, like, sounds. Like, when I was watching Alex play the Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
In a way, it's cool because it kind of lets you, kind of make up on the fly what you think, certain things would be or sound like. But what I like about this one is they actually talk.
Yeah, I mean, look, it threw me a little bit because, Mark Hamill's not Luke Skywalker. So
Mark Hamill can't do everything.
I know. But, it sounded a little different.
It did sound different. Well, they all sounded different.
True.
I don't think any of them were.
Oh, Chewie sounded normal.
True. That was really good, actually. That was really good. Not going to try it.
All right, yeah, so that's the one that's going to be coming out spring 2022.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. You're getting the whole saga all the way from episode... Okay, how do we want to say this? All the way from episode 1 to 9.
Yes.
Even though, like, 1 is 4 and 4...
Yes, you're getting 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
If you want to go by the way that they came out.
Yes. So those games are, always a lot of fun. So
before we continue, if you hear a cricket in the background, I am sorry. There is a
we're not recording this outside at a campsite. We're not.
No, there is a cricket in my basement somewhere, and the fucker's loud.
I just realized now that I could hear it as you were saying.
Yeah. Oh no, dude. Basically, this entire time I've been noticing it.
CGC GamesCom Campfire Edition. We're gonna have some asshole with an acoustic guitar that doesn't quite know how to play it come in.
Oh, that would be me. All right, so next thing we're going to talk about is the Death Stranding director's cut.
And believe it or not, with something else that we're going to come up on this list soon, believe it or not, Death Stranding is not that fucking cricket, dog. Death Stranding is not the most confusing game that we're going to cover.
No,
believe it or not. Believe it or not. But Death Stranding, the director's cut, we actually talked about this before when we were discussing the expansion or the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima and how they're having you pay whatever. And Death Stranding, I don't believe, is making you pay for the... I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
So I don't think they're making you pay for the... Like, you mean for, like, the visual upgrades, 60 frames per second, 4K type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they're making you pay for that. But the director's cut that has, like, the upgraded Robobot dude, you mean the Walker dude?
Yeah.
And your jet propulsion to make sure you don't fall to your death.
Yeah, what it seems they've done with this director's cut, they've added a lot to make your life easier when traversing this crazy land and delivering your packages. They gave you essentially what was like a jetpack damn near. Like what I said, this propulsion system that, you can just jettison yourself
Jump
into the air
over
over canyons and then, not break your legs and lose all your shit. They added like this little robot that can carry your shit for you and carry you apparently.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dope. They added some new vehicles and races and a racetrack as well. They've also, one of the best things, like, again, I don't understand a lot about this game. I've played it. I've tried. But one thing
That was the big thing. You tried.
One thing I will get. I'm always going to give a Kojima game a try because he's like one of my favorite game creators ever. But anyway, what I will never knock it for is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and they've added
8 more songs. I think
eight new tracks.
Yeah.
So, that's going to make some shit better.
Yeah. That's going to be coming out actually towards the end of this month, September 24th.
Oh, also apparently you can now go back and replay your boss battles straight from your shelf on your bedroom in your bedroom. So yeah, they've added a lot of cool stuff. If they could just now add something in to explain the game to me better, I'd try it. But
you're asking for a lot there, bro.
That's Death Stranding. What do you got next there, bro?
So the next one we have looked pretty damn interesting because it looks like it actually gives us what I personally want from a Call of Duty game.
And what's that?
And I'm talking about Call of Duty Vanguard. So what I want from these games is a fucking campaign. Like
a campaign that's not
2 hours. Yeah.
4 hours long. Yeah. And it's funny that we were saying that we watched the 9-minute demo and we were like, that's probably like only an hour left in the game after that.
Yeah. We were laughing at the way that it's just conveniently just the way the bricks are. Now I will say this. Stalingrad, Russia, I don't know how the buildings were made. Some of the buildings literally might be made like that with those bricks sticking out. I do not know.
Well, if that's the case, then they are just asking for Nathan Drake to steal shit. Straight up.
It did have a lot of Uncharted vibe to it.
I got watching this demo. I got a lot of Uncharted and even some Dying Light vibes because it's like they clearly
parkour. Yeah.
They clearly wanted to add an element of platforming into this game because there was a lot of conveniently placed bricks around to climb up and get to open windows. And then there's literally a part in the demo that you can see that is literally taken directly out of, I want to say, Uncharted 2, where you're going through a building that is collapsing and then you start sliding down because the building's tipping over and you jump out the window into the next building over. Exact fucking same thing, but whatever.
Now, I will say it looked gorgeous.
It looked great.
It looked incredible.
And one thing I will give it, even though it is super annoying that the campaigns are always so short, but boy, do they pack them full of action. There's not a lot of lulls in action.
No, there's not.
In those, and that's what frustrates you because it's like, maybe instead of giving us, 4 hours of nonstop ridiculous shit, maybe stretch that to like 10 hours and back some areas down a little bit. Have a little bit more of a setup, a slow build.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd love that. I would love a slow build.
Or, again, if you're going to... We've said this before, and it'll never happen, more than likely. But if you're going to keep them this short, because obviously your Call of Duty, it is what it is, you're going to prioritize... Multiplayer. Like, back in the day where it seemed like you prioritized your story mode and want to do throw in a multiplayer for people who wanted it. Now it's like you're putting all your eggs in the multiplayer, and you just throw in a little story mode for people like us who... that's really all we care about.
Like we said before.
We're not in the majority, I don't think.
And we're also not going to pay full price.
No, exactly.
For a mediocre multiplayer, for a mediocre campaign.
If there's any way, and not even mediocre as far as like what's involved, just like the length of it is like, I'm not paying $70 for a 4 to 6 hour campaign.
Yeah.
If you want to get, if there's any way for me to like download a code to where I don't even get any of the multiplayer shit, I just get the story mode and I pay $30, I'm game.
Done.
I'm in it.
I'll do it.
No problem. But what I did see was banging, though.
Yeah, and we don't have anything yet on any type of release date.
Please come to Game Pass.
Now it's time to get weird.
Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so when I said that Death Stranding wouldn't be the strangest thing that you've seen, or that we've seen in this thing, this is what I was talking about.
So, Pearl Abyss, which is a developer who's made games like Black Desert Online, gave us an acid trip is what they gave us, but it was glorious. It was a beautiful acid trip.
Side note, don't do drugs, people. I'm just saying. So we actually watched them say this like 50 million times. I think it's DokeV. Is that how it's pronounced? DokeV? DokeV. I don't know. But the only thing that I was able to say after watching this trailer, and Wes actually has it up now, we're just fucking around watching it while we're talking, is I have never seen something so fantastic and so incredible looking that I was so confused about. There is not one part of what I was watching that made sense to me.
Yeah,
It's almost like they crammed 45 games into one game.
Yeah,
there's so much confusing stuff going on, but it looks insane. Here, I'll give you an idea of what we're talking about. Wes, just go to the beginning, and I'll just narrate a little bit of what I'm seeing. And I'm not on drugs, people. This is exactly what I'm seeing. And I'm going to explain it the best I could. You're some little kid petting a rock. You're not walking around. I got like a Pokemon-y vibe. Like you're walking around a town, little kids in backpacks and cool clothes and shit. And, playing, what is that, London Bridge?
Yeah.
You're playing London Bridge, riding bikes. And it looks beautiful. The game looks really, really good. Walking up on some kids.
Very quickly it changes, though.
Very quickly it goes into trip mode.
And then you start getting a little bit of sparkles, and then like
seeing
your
someone
skateboard, self-propelled.
Yeah, now you're on a rocket board. You're on a skateboard that's
fireworks.
You got like confetti shooting out of the back of the thing, or fireworks.
And then you ollie, and then you pull an umbrella out, and you're flying
like a parasol.
A Mary Poppins style.
Yeah, you're Mary Poppins style. And then you just like use a spell and turn into like a freaking
25-year-old
thought. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you go from like 11 years old to 25 years old in a miniskirt in like 2 seconds. And then you're fighting what looks like a fucking marshmallow man in the middle of a hurricane.
With an anteater that looks like it's dressed like a slowpoke.
And this is actually happening, people. Those little bouncy balls that you used to jump around on in Toys R Us. If you're our age or whatever toy stores you got now, I'm pretty sure they still got Toys R Us. You're now fighting something with that. You're using a big hammer on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or whatever that is. Now we're riding an alpaca. And
flying a kite.
Now we're flying a kite.
This shit is so
all of this is happening through one of those lanterns that you have in the Asian culture that they have like weddings and shit. Now you're planting a wooden, what is that, a flamingo?
And then you're just riding a longboard.
Back to the longboard. Killer moves on this longboard up a hill, no less. Don't know how that works. Now we got now we just put on our rollerblades, and now we're
just jumped and then ended up with rollerblades.
Now we're just blading, and now we're in like Dance Dance Revolution mode.
This is so strange. This shit is so fucking.
We're in
strange.
Dance Dance Revolution mode.
Oh my god, it is so wild. Like yo, I honestly
everything
don't
that we're saying
understand
is exactly what you will see if you watch. It's called the DokeV. Oh fuck, Wes just went away from it, so I couldn't see the.
Oh my bad.
The DokeV world premiere gameplay trailer.
Yes.
It's a couple minutes long. It's the greatest thing you will ever see.
Essentially, we're getting a bunch of our information from TechRadar.com, and they are basically calling this a combination of Pokemon and Jet Set Radio with a bit of K-pop sprinkled in.
With a bit of K-pop. The whole thing was K-pop.
The music was good though. I enjoyed the music.
The music got me going. I enjoyed
the music a lot, actually.
And like as crazy as this is, I will probably get it because
I see, and okay. So we don't have a release date on this. Like I have no information on this thing really, but I want it. Like I want it, and then like if I play it, my kids are just going to like my son. He's 2 now. His biggest thing is he goes, "Wow, wow." So that's all he's going to say with this, because that's all I said. I said wow, and then I said, the fuck?
Like, this game was such an acid trip that I feel like if I played this game while on acid, the game would just be normal. Like, it's so confusing, but in the greatest way.
Nah, you're probably right.
And now moving on to something a lot easier to understand. Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2.
I love how you put that.
Stay human.
All right. Hey, man. Hardcore parkour, right?
Hardcore parkour.
That's how you put it?
Hardcore parkour, indeed.
Now, this is another game to where I don't actually know what happens in Dying Light games.
You fight the affected in a post-apocalyptic open world and do what you must to survive.
Okay, then.
That is what you do.
All right. I mean, everything we saw, they basically gave a background on why that city is the way it is, and with the virus and dealing with the mutated, and which are the zombies. And then let's see here. Look, nothing feels better than drop kicking motherfuckers in the face. Absolutely.
Yeah. So just to go a little bit into this game, so the game is set in what they call the city, which is a massive urban. They really they reached for the stars with
Where
that
you
name.
Live, man?
The city. No, where? No, the city.
The city.
What?
The only one, bitch. The city.
It's a massive urban open world set in Europe. The players can explore freely. The map, which is 4 times bigger than the original game, is broken into 7 distinct regions, and each has its own landmarks and locations. When exploring the city, you can scavenge different scraps and resources for crafting new items and weapons. And in the game, you'll meet different factions and settlements and have to make different decisions that will fundamentally change the state of the game's world and how how NPCs view Aiden. That's who you play as. You play as Aiden. What's his name? Aiden Caldwell. So the consequences are far-reaching. This is the type of shit that we always say that we love in games. So the consequences are far-reaching, with the player being able to bring prosperity to a faction while completely destroying another settlement. Making certain decisions will open up or seal off areas in the city, encouraging players to complete multiple playthroughs.
Okay.
And like its predecessor, the game features 4-player cooperative multiplayer.
Now, when it comes down to playthroughs, this sounds like some Nier Automata type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where it's like, you have like X amount of endings with it as well.
Mm-hmm. They use one of those lifespan weapon systems where your shit will degrade over time and then it'll break. So you gotta get creative. But
yeah, so that's gonna be coming out December 7th of this year.
December 7th. So check that out. And next up, a game we have been excited about since we very first saw it, and we talk about it every time we get a chance to. And that is none other than Sifu.
Yes. So Sifu is a video game that...
Is it really?
Shut up. Anytime you die in the game, you age. And when you age, you also become more skilled and stronger in the martial arts. So if there's a section that you die at because it's just too hard, the next time you go at it, it'll be much different because your guy is older and he is more experienced, with fighting and being able to handle these situations.
Now, while this is a fundamental part of the game, do we know yet if you have to age as much as you do? Like, what if you just went through the first couple levels and you didn't die at all? Like, is that possible?
See, that's a damn good question. I honestly don't know.
Because I feel like that's a main part of the game. So I wonder if no matter what, there's parts of the story to where you're forced to.
You need to... Basically,
it's unwinnable.
It's OP until you...
Yeah, I wonder.
That's actually a very good question. So the game's not coming out until February 22nd of next year.
And the combat looks fantastic.
Of course.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this game is going to be like one of the tops when it comes down to like indies. I can just see it.
Absolutely. I feel like that's going to be up for some awards.
Oh, 100%.
What do we got next?
So the next one that we have is it's some shit, and we're talking about Far Cry 6.
Yes. Now, Far Cry 6 again was leaked a few months ago, and was it a few months ago? Or was it actually longer than that?
I think it might have been
when we got that first trailer of like him just walking his kid to the edge of the roof with the grenade in his hand.
Dude, yeah, that was last year.
Was it really?
I honestly feel like that was last
time
year.
flies. Time flies so much. Yeah, so Far Cry 6, which is going to be much more urban than any of the other ones we've ever gone through before. And one thing that we loved from the very beginning is you actually play a female protagonist, which is pretty cool.
Something different for them.
It is something different. And I forget what the main antagonist's name is, but he's basically, he's trying to, in his own wicked mind, he's doing the right thing, but he's basically trying to improve his, what do you want to call it? His
country.
Improve his country by any means necessary.
Yeah.
But,
all right, so the Far Cry 6 takes place in the fictional Caribbean island of Yara, which is inspired by Cuba, which very easily you can see.
Immediately.
It is ruled by El Presidente, which is Anton Castillo, and he's a dictator with full control over the island. They found a way to cure cancer, is what they went ahead and said, and it's from their tobacco plants.
Yep.
And it looked like the red smoke, the red dust they were putting on them, you know what I mean? Kind of
the crop dusters, yeah.
Yeah, kind of went ahead and added on to that.
It didn't look super healthy. It's like, okay, you're curing cancer, what are you giving me?
Yeah. Most of these areas that that are growing these crops, they are basically it's slave labor.
Yep.
And the way that El Presidente looks at it is with what I'm giving the world,
What do they
you don't care about how I'm doing it as long as
Mm-hmm.
you get it.
Yeah.
And
Basically, once we rid the world of cancer and once we're this like prosperous nation, no one's gonna care about the methods that I use to get us here.
yes,
No matter who we kill on, whoever. I don't even know the word I was looking for.
no matter how many peasants die in the process, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's also guiding his son Diego throughout this whole process. And one of the last time we talked about Far Cry 6 was a cinematic trailer of Diego sneaking his way onto a vessel that was, I guess, going to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And El Presidente found his son, and then murdered everybody on the boat, and then let the boat just sink. But he didn't murder everybody on the boat. And you actually had Danny Rojas, which is your character, I believe. And she was the only survivor from that boat.
Mm-hmm.
So now she is helping lead the resistance to going ahead and taking Yara back over.
Yeah, and you do so in typical Far Cry fashion with a shitload of cool looking takedowns, phenomenal, guns and vehicles and guns that they have gotten way more creative in this game than in any games past that I can think of, where you actually
like a rocket launcher backpack that's fireworks.
You craft guns out of like things you find around. So she was literally shooting, like launching like mortars and bottle rockets and shit at people. And then in the one trailer we saw, she was shooting out
Macarena CDs.
Hey,
Macarena.
Yeah, and like the longer you leave one in the chamber, like you just hear the song constantly playing. It's just it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Now I'm hoping that there is still an element like you had in games past, which I loved, which is the going after the animals to craft ammo bags and and stuff like that. I hope that there's still an element of that in there. But if not, not a deal breaker. Now moving off of that into something a little more retro.
Before we do that, I just want to give a release date. I mean,
I thought you did.
Well, not because we have it. October 7th of this year.
So we're close.
Very
close.
And
with how everything else has been this year, we're assuming we're very close.
Yes.
But once we get to September 6th, which is in just a couple days, we may find out that this thing gets delayed like 6 months. So we'll see.
But yeah, like you said, let's go old school.
Something retro that
classic beat 'em up
that Wes was very, very excited about.
Oh my god, I lost my mind like month and a half ago when I first saw this. So we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Yep.
Side scroller beat 'em up. Looks like old school Double Dragon, Streets of Rage type of.
Looks like old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The shit that looked like Turtles in Time for, which is probably one of my favorite beat 'em up games ever. Is Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo.
The design of the characters and everything is based off the original animated series that started back in 1987. It looks like we are going to get a 2022 release on this for the Switch and PC. This game is perfect for Switch.
Absolutely. Isn't it crazy that it takes so long even just to make like an old school side-scrolling beat 'em up that looks like it would have come out for like Sega?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
It's crazy.
So the big thing that they wanted to release at GamesCom was that April O'Neil is now a playable character in this game.
And she is just launching microphones left and right and fucking
throwing
people
microphones at people, using cameras on tripods as a hammer.
Yeah.
Just swinging that shit.
Yeah, she in no means looks like she needs to be protected by the turtles.
And then also wearing the classic,
the iconic suit,
badass yellow jumpsuit. Yes. But so this is a 4-player local or online co-op multiplayer game. You'll be facing against the Foot Clan, you'll be facing against Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady, and of course Shredhead himself, Metalhead.
If you can do, hopefully by the time this game comes out, if we're not fully out, we're that much closer to being, with this pandemic in the fucking rear view.
Yeah.
And because this is definitely one of those old school type of games where, especially it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you order a pizza. You bring 3 of your closest friends, or however many you got, into your home, and you play shit. You play that shit local. You don't play that shit online. You play it local. So that way, when someone gets in your way, you can lean over, smack the person next to you, like, "Why the fuck were you in my way?"
Cowabunga!
Yeah, you just get the cheesiest, shittiest pizza you can find.
Yes.
And that's how you do it.
Oh, I want it so bad. All right, yeah, so that's going to be coming out 2022.
All right.
Next one we have is we just got a cinematic trailer on this. I mean, they gave us essentially the story of the main woman that is leading the Spartans. You know what I mean? I mean, like all this was just for the multiplayer anyway.
And speaking of Spartans, obviously means that we are talking Halo Infinite.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a cinematic trailer of this chick basically just trying to get away from these big brute looking motherfuckers, and she was about to get snagged, and then
Spartans came down
and
whooped some ass.
Whooped that ace.
So, look, it was a pretty cool 2.5 minute trailer. You know what I mean? It was all cinematic. There was nothing else in it. But the campaign for the game is going to be coming out December 8th, 2021.
So we'll skip over what we had next. We'll come back to the end. So we'll move right along to the gunk. The gunk.
We just got a short little like minute long teaser cinematic.
Not even. I think when you were actually seeing shit, it was probably like 40 seconds.
Yeah. It was cinematic and gameplay, but
dude just running around with his gunk sucker, basically.
Yeah. So,
Wes, shut your gunk sucker down.
All right. So, when it comes down to this game,
we discussed this before, and we actually went in depth on one of our other episodes as to what this game is actually about, which I believe is one of those classic something's overtaking the area, and it's your job to rid the world of it, which is called the gunk.
Yeah.
It's like this black, nasty,
this is black
goopy
goo,
shit.
and you need to go ahead and suck it up. And then when you do, the world is very vibrant. You know what I mean? And colorful, and you know what I mean? Like all the animals came back and all that other type of stuff. So the release date that I have on this as of right now is September 2021. So we might be seeing it sometime soon. I don't have any other information beyond that. But it is a game that is going to be on Game Pass. It is a game that is a Xbox. Yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive.
Shit. All
right, so the next one we're going to talk about is it is a new twist on an old school thought. And I'm talking about Park Beyond.
Yeah, super excited about this because I grew up playing these park builders. I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon. I loved Zoo Tycoon. I loved Sim City when I played it. So any of these builder type games I love. And yeah, Park Beyond is like taking Roller Coaster Tycoon and ratcheting that shit up to 11 with like Tropico vibes.
Yes.
So basically you're creating a theme park.
Yes.
You're creating a theme park, but you create some wild ass rides.
Like shooting people out of a cannon and then having them land on
a track,
track
across the park.
Yes.
Like shit
and like
never
a
actually seen.
Giant octopus
that tosses you from tentacle to tentacle.
Yeah.
and like a 20 tier Ferris wheel?
Yeah. That was bonkers.
That is
No
bananas.
sense.
But these games are always so much. This is the type of shit that you just want to pick up and play and just have something, the same type of vibe you get from playing an Animal Crossing game when you don't want to have to think super duper hard. You just want to relax, play
just
something
chill.
fun.
Yeah. So this one's going to be coming out 2022.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
All right, next one we're going to talk about is it was a release date trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
And I mean, it mainly just had one of the main guys, Matthias Dejan, is the game director. He's just talking about the game and how much appreciation he has for the fans and the cosplayers and everybody else who is just showing love for all of the games.
And I love this guy, and I'm appreciative of this guy, and I love how appreciative he is of the people that play his game and how excited he is about this game. But I got some things to say. Like, number one, why you got all them letters in your first name? We don't know how to pronounce it. Why is there a J in there? What is that?
Foreign. European. That's all I have, man. It's European.
Yeah, I listened to this guy talk when we were watching this thing for about a minute, and I was like, he's Irish? French?
Swedish?
African? What is he? I can't figure it out. But
yeah.
I mean, look, at this point, there's really not much more you need to do to sell anybody on Horizon Forbidden West. If you've played the original. If you played the original, like, you could have just said, hey, the new one's coming out, shown me nothing, and I'd have been excited.
Yeah. And so Horizon Forbidden West is going to be coming out end of February. I mean, Anthony and I were talking about that last week.
And I believe you're going to have some news about them. Some unfortunate news about them.
Yeah, I got something to say. But also, as of when Gamescom came out, I want to go ahead and make sure that we point this out. The Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is now PS5 upgraded to 4K 60 frames per second. So it is going to give you just a much prettier game.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do we have here? Yes.
Next, from one Horizon to the next Horizon. Then we have
Forza Horizon 5. Basically, that if you like realistic car games, look no further, because this is the cream of the crop, creme de la creme. This is what it is. I mean,
and the trailer that we saw is called the Race to Horizon, where they show you, they drop you into a bunch of different locations with different vehicles, and they show you basically racing to the what do they call that thing?
To the finish line?
Not the motherfucker. Yes, the finish line, but I don't know if I know it says Race to Horizon, but it's like a festival or something. Yeah. So. And
then from there, I mean, you go into
like you see like the very first jungle. The very first one, you're in a crazy sandstorm that you have to drive through. You can't avoid it. You're driving through a sandstorm, and then Wes says you're dropped into the jungle with this badass jungle-fied Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche 911.
And then you are dropped.
Yeah, there's a sandstorm.
Yup, and then you're dropped into a wicked motherfucking Mercedes that ended up
215 miles
an hour. Just cooking. But yeah, these games, man, they're
looked insanely gorgeous.
You can screen record. If you're playing on a 4K TV, you can screen record anything from this in like the instant replay mode, show it to someone, and they'd be hard pressed to tell you that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Like it's
graphics on this
it's insane.
The best.
And I was saying it's super impressive how you're going, at any point in time, like we said, up to 215 miles an hour, and the game has to render the graphics so fast, and it doesn't skip a beat.
No.
Like you don't. Meanwhile, you could be walking slow as shit in Skyrim, and you're seeing trees still trying to figure out how the fuck to pop up. Like,
yeah.
And this is just, everything is so super responsive. So if you're into racing games and you got an Xbox, this is what you want.
Yeah, so the game is going to be coming out on Game Pass November 9th. And I'm guessing that's also the same date that's going to be just dropping for everybody else. Within the Microsoft community.
Uh-huh.
So the last one that we're going to talk about.
I love that they're like slowly starting to constantly roll out these types of games now.
Yeah, so we're going to start talking about Marvel Midnight Suns. Now, Anthony and I talked about the game itself because we sat there and watched the trailer. Because by that point in Gamescom, we were able to go ahead and at least watch that one. But then now we actually have gameplay, and we can actually see what the gameplay looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you're looking at the seedier parts of Marvel. You know what I mean? The darker ends.
And like, who isn't in this shit, really?
Some like demonic shit. I mean, you have Nico from the Runaways. You have Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Wolverine, Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. Well, I had to go ahead and make sure I say which one specifically.
Yeah.
You have Magic, which a lot of people might know from the new Mutants movie. Yeah, man, like it's looking pretty nuts. So this game is it's a card system combat game, which is much different than essentially anything else that we've seen.
And this is, not to be confused with the other Marvel games that have come out by they were EA, right? The Avengers one that came out, the Guardians of the Galaxy that's about to come out.
Well,
right.
I'm not entirely sure if they're EA, but I mean, like, so this is made by Faxis.
Well, this is 2K,
which
right?
It's Faxis and 2K.
Yeah.
But the big thing about it is that these are the same people that made XCOM.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking. All right. So if you like games like XCOM or like Gears Tactics,
mm-hmm.
you will love this game, because that's basically what everybody's saying. This is a Marvel XCOM game. So not only do you have the cards, but also your powers with using the cards can also go to the environment to like blow up barrels or stuff like that to where you have like an area of effect. And you really need to pay attention to the relationships you have with these other characters. Now, for the first time ever in a Marvel game, you have a fully customizable character. You yourself, the Hunter, is 100% customizable, which they have not done before. And the whole point is that you're battling against your mother. You know what I mean? Lilith in this game. And the Hunter is the only one that's ever defeated her. Oh, yeah, let's not also forget about Blade as well.
Shit. Yeah.
But yeah, so you have the card system in the game, and then from there... Oh, yeah, you also have
Did we say Cap?
No, we didn't say Cap.
We didn't mention Cap.
Yeah, oh man, shit looks insane. Captain Marvel,
yeah.
Yeah, dude, just looks...
Like, so again, so like who's not in this at this point?
Yeah.
And whoever's not in this, who knows, DLC packs and shit. You never know. But
yeah, so like I mean this whole thing is it is going to be coming out
while West looks for that though. Yeah, it's cool that like again, not that this has anything to do with the other ones, but it's cool that like, we go
somebody else is running it.
We go from, Marvel's Avengers and it's like, "Oh, that's a cool concept." And then boom, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then all of a sudden you got Midnight Suns, and it's cool to see a lot of this Marvel shit popping up.
So the game's going to be coming out March 2022. That's what we have so far for the information.
Yeah.
Dude, this is
a good time.
I don't normally play these types of games. I know nothing when it comes down to these XCOM style of turn-based games.
Well, what about, sometimes you just need that specific game to get you into that style, and what a better way for you than for Marvel to get involved.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So, yeah, like I said, that one's March 2022, and that's our main coverage.
Yes, so obviously
GamesCom.
There's some games that we left out.
There's actually a lot.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of games that we left out that we have discussed already before, like Life is Strange: True Colors, and we talked more in depth before about Halo Infinite. That's why we didn't give it as much love today. But yeah, there's a lot of games that we've discussed before. But yeah, so yeah, that is our list for Gamescom 2021.
Yeah, and now it is time for news. Okay, so I only have one real piece of news, and
it's not a great one.
No, it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
So Horizon Forbidden West is not going to offer a PS4 to PS5 upgrade. So what that means is that, say you have the game for the PS4, then you finally get a PS5. You won't be able to just do a straight port over and be able to go ahead and just run it. You know what I mean? And get all the pretty upgrades of everything else with the PS5. You would have to buy a separate version. So, and it's not even the standard or the next level up version. You're talking about the version that's most likely over $100. So you have a handful of versions. You have the standard edition, which is going to be, your
$70, $60,
yeah,
$70.
your $60, $70. Then you have a special edition, which is like about $70, $80. Then you have, right here. That's $80. And then you have a West Regala edition. That's $500. Well, at eBay, that's $500. That's probably
that better come with a fucking PlayStation.
Well, once again, that's eBay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fucking
But
they're like $400 more than
yeah, dude, yeah, fuck that shit. But like, it's
no respect.
I don't understand.
You understand it. You understand why they do it.
I understand because it's money.
And you understand why they can get away with it. Like Ant said, and like I've said a million times, like we've all said a million times before, because people will buy it.
Yes.
People will deal with it.
100%. Now,
if everyone just collectively went, no, then,
Yeah, I mean, you've already seen the reaction of people with Control. You've seen the reaction of people with, other games that aren't doing a
straight port over.
With the upgrade going with the port over. Like, One of the smartest things that Borderlands could have ever done was go ahead and do the
Like, oh, you bought this
do the
already?
port over,
you
and
go.
then also, oh yeah, by the way, it's also going to have the upgrades to go ahead and make it run optimum with that new system. And they're like, yeah, it's free, no problem.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. Yeah, the fucking cricket pissing me off. Yeah, so it's just one of those things that just fucking.
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer. Now, it doesn't affect us because we have PS5s, so we're just gonna go ahead and just buy the PS5 version anyway.
Yeah, but for the people who don't have a 5 yet,
I look at it as just like you said.
There's
You
not
know me, the people that
aren't as
most
fortunate to have
people,
one yet. Yeah.
most people don't have a PS5.
they're still hard as shit to find.
Yes, I know, and it's fucking irritating. That's irritating as well. But yeah, so like I said before, I mean the game's gonna be coming out the end of February, and I guess you just need to make a choice of which one you want to get, and then
Just rock with it.
rock like hell with it. I mean, look, buy a PS5 version, and then fight like hell to get one.
Yeah, if you can, for sure.
But yeah, so this one's short, y'all, because
Yeah.
that's all it is in news. So, even with the cricket going, we're still going to do this. I've been playing something new. Well, not new, but I came back to it.
Oh.
And we're going to hear what Andy's got going too. So let's go ahead and talk about what we are playing.
Well, fuck, I'll go first.
Well, fuck.
Actually, I really don't have anything. Yeah, just what we did for
Just the Ascent?
just the Ascent for Friday.
You haven't jumped into any more of Resident Evil?
Didn't get to this week because, like I said, this was my first week.
2 weeks. You've been off for 2 weeks.
Been what?
We didn't hear from you last week.
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I know I'm further in it. I just don't remember exactly where I'm at. It's been a week since I've played it.
Okay.
I think I'm just further exploring the Dimitrescu Castle. I fucked up one of the daughters. Aunties. Yeah, but not a lot of
Hey,
that. I
auntie.
did every now and again. I have been messing around with Chell.
Just getting your skills back up.
Well, no, remember that season that I told you that I always do right before the new game comes out, that fuck around season where, I'm now in year 2041 of that season where every single person is randomly generated at this point. There's no one in the current NHL that's still playing, probably not even alive. One thing I did like about this game is that they have the record book now where you can see franchise records, overall NHL records.
That's cool.
And as of right now, he's obviously retired, but Alex Ovechkin is the all-time points leader in mine. Gretzky's fifth.
Fifth?
Gretzky's fifth.
Holy shit.
I had a dude. I usually wait until I get that one guy that I'm like, ooh, I want this guy to retire a flyer, and I'll never trade him. Because before, what I would generally do is, I'm a dick. I used to do this in Madden too. Like, you hit 30, you're off my squad. So I used to trade guys at 30 while they still had value and, scoop up picks for the future and shit like that. But this one guy I got, Brandon McIntyre, who's now the Flyers, in my game, the Flyers all-time leader. He passed Clarkey in points, goals, seasons, games played.
Wow.
The only place he didn't top him was assists. I'm in 2041, and the system that I have, once you get far enough with like trading, and like I said, I do it for fun. The one at the end, I do 3 franchises, right? When I first get the game, I do a franchise mode with everything legit, the salary cap on, work it out the correct way. And then I do one with the salary cap off and just mess around. And then I do the one right before the game comes out where I take all the best young players, turn the salary cap off, and just get wild. And so after each year, I can go into free agency, snag all the top free agents, and then flip them for picks. So literally now that I'm in year 2041 for like the last 4 or 5 years, I have, no matter what happens, whether I win the cup or not, I have every single pick in the first round. All of them. Pick 1 all the way through. I have. So right now my team is pretty ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I got like 90 overall players on my 4th line.
God damn.
And I've loaded up the Phantoms too. So
God damn.
it's fun. It's fun to just mess around with. And then I guess I'll talk about, I almost said Freaky Friday. I'll talk about what we did on Friday, and then you can get into your new thing.
Good.
All right, well, yeah, so the 3 of us continued the Ascent. last night, and it was a hell of a night for people to watch because
Went
we only
for
got
almost 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. We only got a couple missions done, but it's a couple missions done. A couple missions more than we did the last time. And this one, like, we ran a side mission that we probably had no business even trying to do. And funny enough, we got ourselves all the way to the end, realizing that we can't finish it yet because we obviously have to progress in the main story a little bit first. But we were
so hard,
way above our pay grade.
Like, we're levels 12, 13, 14, something like that. And we're going against guys that are 16, 21.
20. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got jacked up a few times, but we made a lot of progress. We got a lot of cool new gear, new guns, the ability to upgrade our guns.
Yes.
And yeah, dude, we rocked it out. And we had some pretty fucking sick moments, I'd say, where we kept ourselves alive, and when we were up by that casino. We unlocked some new areas. But it was a fun watch. It seemed like everyone, had a lot of fun watching.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun playing.
Yeah, it was great.
And we'll get back after it next Friday.
Of course.
But I want to hear what you got. Since you got some new old stuff.
Yeah, I jumped back into a game that I didn't know if I was ever going to touch again. And it's actually a lot of fun. And we actually got Dan into it too, which is actually very surprising.
Is it a platformer then?
No.
Oh, what is it?
I'm back into Fallout 76.
What are you doing? No, I'm just kidding.
Now, we did talk about that game when it came down to the biggest flops. Because when it first came out, there were no NPCs. Mm. There was literally you could just walk around. I mean, you didn't have... I mean, I can tell you from experience, getting up to level 40, you did not have to do anything that had to do with the campaign at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could just walk around and just say fuck it all, and you could just do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. So... now I'm running, the campaign, and we're all thrown down together. So me, Hob, Mike, and Dan.
It's a lot more fun, huh?
It is, dude. Yo, it is a great time running with a crew. And I had a player that at the time was a level 10. It was one I started. Just on another playthrough. Just I forget why, but I'm using that one. And now my current thing is I want to take all of my stuff and my gear from my level 40 character and give it to my level now 14 character. Uh-huh. So now I need to figure out the right way of doing that.
Yeah.
Because you always get thrown into a different world. You know what I mean? Different server every time. You know what I mean? So you can't just always you can't drop off. You know what I mean? Like 400 pounds of fucking aluminum and then come right back to it with a different player. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So you basically need to have somebody who is essentially naked with nothing and then throw them as much shit as you can, drop out, come back in as your other player, take it, put it in your stash, and you need to just continue that cycle. And that part's going to be a drag.
Daunting.
But I also have a lot of really good shit in my level 40.
But you're having fun though, right?
I am. I'm having it's a good time. Running with the boys on something. Something else. It's not Borderlands. It's not. D&D. We're keeping the D&D for Mondays. So when we stream. So nah, dude. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Legit.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically all I've done. I mean, this week has been a little hectic because we just dealt with Ida and the remnants of Ida.
Yeah, we dealt with the remnants of Ida.
Which was fucking hurricanes or
tornadoes.
Tornadoes, yeah. And this area actually got tore up pretty good.
Yeah.
So we got lucky.
Very lucky compared to some people that we know, and
yeah, just
other people in the area. We got very, very lucky.
Yeah, man. Yo, our thoughts are with all y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You mean that are going through. All this type of stuff, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, people out here lost houses and lost lives.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah,
no joke.
I've driven through. You know what I mean?
No
some of the area that that the tornado went through up around us, dude. And it's like I said before, dude. It's not in a cool way, but it's awesome. You know what I mean? Just in awe of the power that that this storm had. It's fucking insane.
And dude, like what we said before, like I'm not turning this into some fucking hokey like climate change podcast, but it's crazy that like when we were kids, it would have been bananas just the thought of getting a tornado here, let alone one that would tear shit up in Tornado Alley.
Well, like I said,
like
I was saying this to people at work. We had less tornadoes in my entire life than my daughter has had in hers.
Yeah.
My daughter's 5.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're 40.
Fuck you.
Anyway, but yeah.
But look, man.
Yeah, our thoughts are definitely with the people out there that are,
Yeah, it's been
rough.
It's been rough. But yeah. So, I mean, that's all that's been going on around here. So, Andy, tell them where they can find us.
Yes, sir. It's time to connect with CGC. You can find us on consolegamingcrew.com. You can drop us a line at consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Twitter, as always, is the best place to interact with us. We are at Console Crew. We are Console Gaming Crew on both YouTube and Instagram. Or Facebook, we don't talk about much because, nobody likes us there.
Fuck it.
We are also
nobody likes.
We are also a part of the Boss Rush Network. We found on bossrushgames.com. That is a entire network of podcasters, not just in the gaming realm, but in all sorts of different avenues.
And other content creators as well.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They got a lot of cool articles on there, other podcasts. They're fantastic. So go listen to not just us, but everybody else on there. And our Twitch, CGC Podcast on Twitch. We have now Fun Fridays. Used to be Freaky Friday. Eventually we'll get back to that. But for now, it's Fun Fridays where the three of us
playing the Ascent.
We play the Ascent. You have co-op game Monday nights with Wes and his other peeps.
Yeah. The other guys, 2.0.
Yeah, and we always, thanks to Wes, we always generally have a backup if something goes wrong on a Friday. He'll run some Miles Morales so Monday and Friday you can count on content.
Yeah. You always got us. But so until next time, always ask for everybody to please stay safe. Wash your hands, mask up if you need to. We're still going through this, and as always,
game on.
Come on, y'all. Peace.